Acharya, you can start. I have set up everything.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Because I was trying to log in from the iPhone. So
Yeah, I
let
have
me
set
log
up
out.
everything. You can start. Yeah.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. I log out from there. Om. Okay. Om. Namaste, everybody. Welcome on this weekly services of the Hindu Center of Atlanta. Let's move into focusing our mind and focusing our mind by keeping our body totally relaxed from head to toe, with the spine, the neck, and the head in one vertical line. The eyes gently closed, and while closing the eyes, just pledge, vow to the self that I am also closing my mind to external thoughts and my heart to external emotions, to engage into Ishvara Stuti Prarthana Upasana, Stuti, praising of the qualities of Ishvara God, just to be able to filter these good qualities into ourselves and sprout the divinity within us. Prarthana prayers to be done after putting up all the physical and mental efforts. And upasana, be one with the self, the soul, and the supreme self, Ishvara God. Deep inhale and exhale. And while exhaling, we are going to chant the main name of Ishvara God, the Om, 3 times, and Gayatri Mantra in the form of bhajan. And all throughout, we'll be focusing on our own chanting, the pronunciation, the sound waves of the chanting, and the vibrations coming back to us. Deep inhale, and while exhaling, we are going to chant Om. ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। तूने हमें उत्पन्न किया, पालन कर रहा है तो तुझसे ही पाते प्राण हम। दुखियों के कष्ट हरता है तो तेरा महान तेज है, छाया हुआ सभी स्थान, सृष्टि की वास्तु वास्तु में तू हो रहा है विद्यमान, तेरा ही धरते ध्यान हम, मांगते तेरी दया। ईश्वर हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला, दाता हमारी बुद्धि को श्रेष्ठ मार्ग पर चला। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्, धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। Gently, slowly join the palms together and rub them and cover the eyes, opening the eyes slowly, gradually below the palms and transferring the energy to the facial muscles. अथेश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थनोपासना मंत्र। ओम विश्वानि देव सवितर दुरितानि परासुव, यद्भद्रं तन्न आसुव। ॐ हिरण्यगर्भः समवर्तताग्रे भूतस्य जातः पतिरेकासीत्, सदाधारपृथिवीं द्यामुते माम्, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ य आत्मदा बलदा यस्य विश्वा उपासते, प्रशिशं यस्य देवः, यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्यो, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वै कैद्राजा जगतो बभूव, य ईशे यस्य द्विपादश्चतुष्पादः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ ये नद्योरुग्रा पृथिवी च दृधा, येन स्वस्तभीतं येन नाक, यो अन्तरिक्षे रजसो विमानः, कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम। ॐ प्रजापते नत्वदेतान्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव, यत्कामास्तेजो मस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं स्याम पतयोरयीनाम्। ॐ Sano Bandhurjanita Savidhata Dhamani Veda Bhuvana Nivishva Yatra Deva Amrita Manashana Striti Dhamannadhyayirayanta Om Agneya Yasupatha Rayasman Vishwani Deva Vayuna Nividvan Yuyodhyasmadjuhuranameno Puishtham te namauktim vidhema. These 8 mantras are known as Ishvara Stuti Prarthana Upasana. And let's see a gist of the mantras. The first one says, Vishwani Deva Savitara Doritani Parasava. Omnipresent creator of this whole universe, inspire our soul and the soul inspiring the mind to remove all our ills and evils and put in all that is beneficial and good to us. Second mantra, Hiranyagarbha, Ishvara as the golden womb, and Patireka, seed, the one and only ruler of the universe, none superior or equal to Ishvara God. Third mantra, Ya Atmada Balada, Ishvara, the source from where we derive physical, mental, moral, and spiritual treasures, forces. In terms of the creation, from where we get food, water, air, everything sustaining life, and also by the divine guidance within us, prompting us to live spirituality as spiritual reality in daily life. The fourth mantra, Yaha Pranato Nimishato, Ishvara as the guardian, the protector of all living and non-living beings in this universe. And the mantra goes, Ya Ishe Dvipadash Chatushpada. So we seek the grace of Ishvara God so that all the bipeds, the quadrupeds live safely in this planet and more so understand the meaning of bipeds are those who only chase earth and calm, that is, spend the time earning a living and enjoying life. And the quadrupeds are those who tread on the path of dharma, righteous living, then earth, righteous earnings, and calm, righteous enjoyment of the righteous earnings to ultimately grow, move unto mukti, moksha. Then the fifth mantra says, Ye nadyo rugra prithvi. Again, we see God, Ishvara, as the sustainer of this whole earth and universe. For what purpose has this creation been done? Amritamana Shanastritiye. We achieve mukti, moksha, salvation, and will be roaming like the birds in the sky. One will be in the bliss of Ishvara God, enjoying the bliss, the eternal bliss of Ishvara God, in whose happiness there's not a single trace of dukh, sorrows, and afflictions. The next mantra says, Prajapate Natvadeta, He Sab Praja Ke Swami Paramatma. Recognize that we are in the kingdom of Ishvara God, and by being the subjects of the kingdom of Ishvara God, we seek the divine guidance to be Vayam Syama Patayorainam, masters of both spiritual and material treasures. Then Sano Bandhura Janita, We recognize Ishra God as Bandhu, the nearest, dearest sibling that we have, always by our sides in the previous lives that we had, during this life, and always beyond, even in moksha and mukti, and even during the period of pralay, dissolution. And Bandhu, the nearest, dearest sibling, what is the duty and responsibility? Whenever we do good, there's a small gentle tap on the shoulder telling us to move ahead, to be further motivated. और अच्छे कामों में ईश्वर आनंद उल्लास उमंग के माध्यम से हमें प्रेरित करता है. And when we're on the wrong track, the inner voice puts the brake. Fear, doubt, shame, and looking for places where we are alone. भय, शंका, लज्जा आदि, और पूरे विश्व के सामने नहीं, लुका छुपी करके हम गलत कामों करने के लिए वहां पे ब्रेक लगता है. The last mantra, Agnena Yasya Pathara Yasman. This mantra is also enjoins the mantra of the prayers of the first mantra. Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vedwan. That Ishwar God always bless us with the company of elderly and knowledgeable persons who share their knowledge and their life experiences, giving us that extra mileage to run on the path of Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. That was Iti Ishwara Stuti Prarthana Upasana Prakaranam. आचमन के लिए सीधे हाथ में जल लेंगे. Take water in the right palm 3 times with 3 mantras. And sipping at the end of the mantra. Om Amritopastara Namasi Swaha. Second time. Om Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Third time. Om Satyam Yasha Shirmai Shri Shayatam Swaha. Wash your hands. Now please take water in the left palm, and with the middle and ring fingers of the right hand, we are going to touch various parts of the body, praying to Ishwar God. Just like water has so many qualities, purifying. Water is always peaceful at the end of the day, even for whatever turmoils they have. Water has the unique binding effect and unique transformational properties. So let's adopt these in life and walk on the path of Satya, to earn Yasha and Shri, treading on the path of truth, earn name and fame, and be masters of spiritual and material treasures. Om Vangamasyasto, Om Nasorme Pranosto, Om Akshanorme Chakshurasto, Om Karnyorme Shrotramasto, Om Bahurme Balamasto, Om Urvorma Ojosto, Om Marishtani Vangani Tanustanva Me Sasanto. अग्नि आदान के लिए दीपक जलाएंगे. Lighting of the lamp. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Now, if you have the Havan Kund, then you're using the camphor, kapoor, to transfer the fire into the Havan Kund, to introduce the fire into the Havan Kund at the end of the mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Dhyoriva Bhumna Prithiviva Varimna Tasyaste Prithivi Deva Yajani Prishthe Agnimannada Mannadhyaya Dadhe. The next mantra is Agni Samindhan mantra. So we are going to pour 3-4 spoonfuls of ghee over the samidhas to get them blazing. ॐ उद्बुद्ध्य स्वाग्ने प्रतिजागृही त्वमिष्टापूर्ते संसृजेथामयं च अस्मिन् सधस्ते यद्युतरस्मिन् विश्वे देवा यजमानश्च सीदत. Samidha Dan, 3 pieces of Samidha wood sticks dipped into ghee. Pehli Samidha, the first one with this mantra, and offer after saying Swaha. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svardha Swachedda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatvedase Idam Namama. Oh, second Samhita. We have 2 mantras here. It will be on the second Swaha, please. Om Samidhagnim Duvasyata Gritervodayata Tithim Asmin Havyajotana Swaha Idam Agneidam Namama. Om Susamidhaya Shocishe Gritam Tivram Jotana Agnaye Jata Vedase Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Third Samidha. Om Tantva Samidbhirangiro Gritena Vardhayamasi Brihachochaya Vishtya Swaha Idam Agnayangirase Idam Namama. Panchagrit Ahuti, offering of ghee 5 times to get the fire again blazing, because after that would be offerings of ghee and samagri. So to get the fire in due process activated so that it gives us the maximum benefit of evaporation and sublimation of the essential oils in this ghee and in the samagri, which we'll be offering shortly thereafter. Abhi, sir ghee, only ghee. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svardha Swachedda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svardha Swachedda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Ayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svardha Swachedda Vardhaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svardha Swachedda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Om Mayanta Idmatma Jata Vedaste Nedya Svardha Swachedda Vardaya Chasman Prajaya Pashubhir Brahma Varchase Namnadyena Samedhaya Swaha Idam Agnaye Jata Vedase Idam Namama. Jal Sechanam, sprinkling of water around the Havan Kund, first on the east, Purva Disha. Om Aditenu Manyasva, on the west. Om Anumatenu Manyasva, north. Om Saraswatyanu Manyasva. Now, at the end of this mantra, sprinkle around the Havan Kund, starting from northeast, going clockwise to end at the northeast Ishan Disha, which is the direction of sunrise and physical light, as well as the light of knowledge, the light of spirituality in our life. Om Deva Savita Prasvayadyam Prasvayadypatim Bhagaya Divyo Gandharva Ketapuhu Ketanna Punatu Vachaspatir Vachanna Swadato. Offering of ghee, first in the northern side, second in the south, always moving from west to east, northwest to northeast, southwest to southeast, and then next would be in the center. Now in the north, Om Agnaye Svaha Idam Agnayedan Namama. South, Om Somaya Svaha Idam Somaya Idam Namama. Center, Om Prajapataye Svaha Idam Prajapataye Idam Namama. Om Indraya Svaha Idam Indraya Idam Namama. The mantras for morning. अब से घी और सामग्री दोनों की आहुतियां चलेंगे. Both ghee and samagri to be offered after saying Swaha. And remember, if you know the mantra, chant along with me. Otherwise, minimum is to say Om and Swaha when the words come. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyoti Surya Swaha. Om Suryo Varcho Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajurusha Sendravatya Drushana Suryavetu Swaha. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agne Pranaya Idam Namama. The evening prayers, Agnira Jyoti. Om Agnira Jyotir Jyotiragni Swaha. Om Agnira Varcho Jyotir Varcha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajuratrendраvatya Dushano Agnirveto Swaha. Om. Now the next mantras guide us on Havan, the physical aspects that we have to comply to. Pranaya Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, then Purvasaragni Vayavaditebhya Prana Pana Vyanabhya Swaha. So it says Pran, Apan, and Vyan. Inhale and exhale, the two life forces on which we breathe. And then the third life force, Vyan, which distributes oxygen and nutrients to all parts of the body and withdraw the toxins out of our body, maintaining our physical, mental health, etc. So if we chant the mantras in one flow after taking one deep breath, we'll be doing our pranayam. And at the same time, the vapors containing the essential oils of the ghee and samagri as microparticles, we'll be inhaling those vapors, those essential oils that goes into our lungs and does the effect of aromatherapy. So that's why the essence of chanting the mantras after taking a long breath and doing pranayama at the same time. That's a synchronization, very scientific process. Ghee and samagri. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idam Namama. Om Bhuvaravaive Panaya Swaha. Idam Vaive Panaya Idam Namama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idam Adityaya Vyanaya Idam Namama. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वरग्निवायुवादितेभ्य प्राणपानव्यानभ्यः स्वाहा इदम् अग्निवायुवादितेभ्य प्राणपानव्यानभ्यः इदं नमः ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोमृतं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरों स्वाहा ॐ यं मेधां देवगणः पितरः सोपासते तयामामद्यमेधयाग्निमेधाविनं कुरु स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितरदुर्तानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्नासुव स्वाहा ॐ अग्नेन यस्पथाराय यस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जोरानमेनो भूयिष्ठान्तेन मौक्तिं विधेम स्वाहा ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितरदुर्तानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्नासुव स्वाहा The world is undergoing dire times with the pandemic and unfortunately so many victims. We can only pray to Ishwar God for good health of the whole population of this world, peace from the Shanti Sukta of the Yajurved, which is 36th chapter, and the Arya Samaj North America lost a great benevolent leader, Sri Amar Eri. So praying that all those who've been aggrieved with his demise also get peace in their life to move ahead. We'll take a few mantras from the Yajurved 36th chapter, which is the Shanti Sukta. Om Richam Vacham Prapadye Manu Yaju Prapadye Sam Pranam Prapadye Chakshu Shrotram Prapadye Vagojah Sahojo Mai Pranapano Swa Om Yanme Chidram Chakshusho Hridayasya Manaso Vatitrinam Brihaspatiirme Taddadatu Shanno Bhavatu Bhuvanasya Yaspati Swa. The first mantra says Richam Vacham Prapadye, quoting the four Vedas. And why the four Vedas are mentioned in this mantra is because if we have the proper knowledge of the Vedas, which gives us knowledge of both worldly life and spiritual life, to be walked in at the same time. And with that empowerment, we'll be able to Yanme Chidram Chakshushodhyasa, fill up all the holes in our life, the holes of lust, greed, ego, fear, etc. And when we fill all these holes, we'll be able to withhold the grace of Ishwar God within us. Understand that life is only transient, and we have to do our utmost during our living on the path of Dharma, Artha, Kam, ultimately to reach that eternal bliss of Ishwar God. Om Bhurbhuvah Swah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. O Ishwar God, lead our intellect, our mind into wisdom. Medha Buddhi. Medha Buddhi to get involved in righteous thoughts and righteous actions. Om Shanno Vata Pavatang Shannastapatu Surya Shanna Kanikradadeva Parjanyo Abhivarshatu Swaha. Om Shanno Mitra Shanvaruna Shanno Bhavatvariyama Shanna Indro Brihaspati Shanno Vishnu Rurukrama Swaha. This recognizing Ishwar God as the omnipresent Shanno, Metraha, the everlasting friend by our side, Varunaha, the omnipresent and giver of bliss, Bhavatvariyama, the all just, Indro, the giver of material and spiritual treasures, Brihaspati, the greatest, then Vishnu Rukrama, the one always guiding us to be righteous in life. So if we know all these properties and we are able to recognize the divine presence within us, we'll be able to always go into actions, gear into actions that will bring us peace and life. Om Shanno Devi Ravishaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Shanyurabhisravantu Nasva. This one says Abhishtaya and Pitaya. Abhisht, worldly treasures, and Pita, spiritual treasures, and we pray for both of them. Om Apo Hishtamayo Bhuvastana Urje Dadatana Maheranaya Chakshase Swaha. Om Yovah Shivatamorasastasya Bhajayate Hana Ushatiriva Matara Swaha. Om Tasmarangamamavo Yasya Kshayaya Jinvata Apo Janayatha Jana Swaha. These three mantras pertain to the physical qualities of water and how we can learn to live in life. And if we see water, whatever be the troubles in water, whether it's a tsunami, high tides, flood, and the water gets muddy, eventually it will settle down peacefully and become clear. So whatever ups and downs we have in our life, let's be peaceful and settle, and we'll find our way clear to the proper destination. The next one is the Shanti mantra. Om Dhyau Shantirantariksham Shanti Prithvi Shantirapa Shantiroshadhaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shantirvishvedeva Shantirbrahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhisva. Here we mention the various elements of this universe and seeking peace with each and every single element of the universe. The stars, luminous bodies, the space, the earth, waters, the medicinal plants, all the vegetation, and all the people around us, etc. But to get peace from all these, we owe a duty to be peaceful towards these elements first. Only when we are peaceful towards each and every element in our surrounding, then we'll be able to generate peace within us and in return get peace from all around us. Om Drite Nama Mitrasya Ma Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshantam Mitrasyaham Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshe Mitrasya Chakshusha Samiksha Mahesva. This mantra says Mitrasyaham Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani. Then Mitrasya Chakshusha Samiksha Mahe. Let's look at all with a friendly eye, living and non-living beings. Then we'll realize the prayer of the previous mantra, the Shanti part. The next mantra is about medicines. Om Sumitriyana Paushadhaya Santu Durmitriyas Tasmai Santu Yosman Dveshtiyam Chavayam Dvishma Swaha. Sumitriya, Sumati dene wala, beneficial to us. Apa, water. Then Oshadhaya, our food, which is the first medicine. And then our medicines. And this Oshadaya in terms of Sanskrit refers to the seasonal crops, those plants that grow, give their yield, and then die out. Dal, chawal, adi, adi. It's about the pulses, the grains, rice, etc. So if we are careful about using proper earnings to buy food and proper cooking methods, will be earning our health from that. And if that doesn't suffice, then we'll use the medicines. Durmitriyas tasmai santu, to remove all the ills and evils of our life, physical, mental. And then yosman dveshtiyam chavayam dveshma, by the characteristic of having no dvesh, no hatred for anything around us, whether it's living or non-living, will be able to generate mental peace, which especially in dire times of COVID, where we are confined to our homes, mental sickness is becoming a flaring problem. So if we learn to be tolerant, be peaceful within ourselves, we'll be able to overcome all that. The next one is prayer for long life. Om Tachachurdevahitam Purastat Chukramucharat Pashyema Sharada Shatam Jivema Sharada Shatam Shinuyama Sharada Shatam Prabravama Sharada Shatamadina Syama Sharada Shatam Bhuyascha Sharada Shatat Swaha. Now you're going to move for 3 times Gayatri Mantra and 3 times Mahamrityunjay Mantra. So chant the mantra along with me, one pace, one tone. Feel your own chanting, focus on your own chanting, and feel the vibrations, the sound waves of your own pronunciation. Move only when we say Swaha to offer both ghee and samagri. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaradhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamratat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivaradhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamratat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushtivaradhanam Urvarukmiva Vandhanan Mrityurmukshiyamamratat Swaha. Swishtakrita Ahuti, if you have prasad, then offering of ghee, and 1 ahuti of prasad, otherwise only ghee. Om Yadasya Karmanotyaricham Yadvyanonmihakaram Agnishta Shrishta Kridyat Sarvam Swishtam Suhutam Karotu Me Agnaye Shrishta Krite Sutahute Sarprayashchita Hutinam Kamanam Samardetre Sarvanah Kaman Samardhya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Shrishta Krite Idam Namama. Om Swaha Idam Prajapataye Namama. Purnahuti 3 times, both ghee and samagri. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। ॐ सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा. Put everything down. Join the palms together. Mahavam Devyagan. Free mantras from the Samved. Praying to Ishwar God. Sukha, happiness, Shanti, peace, and Samriddhi, prosperity. So the effort is ours. And when we put up all the efforts, God will just do the top up and grace us with Sukh, happiness, Shanti, peace, and Samriddhi, prosperity. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Kayanashchitra bhuvadoti sada vridha sakha. Kayashachishtaya vrita. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Tastva Satyo Madanam Manghishto Matsadandhasa Dridachidarujevasu. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Abhishona Sakhinam Avita Charitranam Shatam Bhavasyutaye. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Can I get one volunteer for Yajna Prarthana, please? Yes. Vandaji, go ahead. Yajna Prarthana.
पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। वेद की बोले रचाए, सत्य को धारण करे, हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे, शोक सागर से तरे। अश्वमेधाधिक रचाए, यज्ञ पर उपकार को, धर्म मर्यादा चलाकर लाभ दे संसार को। नित्य श्रद्धा भक्ति से यज्ञादि हम करते रहे, रोग पीड़ित विश्व के संताप सब हरते रहे। भावना मिट जाए मन से, पाप अत्याचार की, कामनाएं पूर्ण होवे, यज्ञ से नर नारी की। लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीव धारी के लिए, वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए। स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा, प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो, इदम न मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। प्रेम रस में मग्न होकर वंदना हम कर रहे, नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए।
Thank you, Vandana ji. Now let's move for the blessings. हाथ जोड़ लेंगे. Just fold your hands. Close the eyes gently and feel the grace of Ishwar within us always. It's just as I said, Yanme Chidram, we have to fill in the holes so that we can withhold the grace of Ishwar God within us. Om Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama Om Purna Santo Yajamanasya Kama Om Safala Santo Yajamanasya Kama Satya Santo Yajamanasya Kama. May the wishes of the Yajman, the desires of the Yajman be truthful. Purna Santo, the truthful desires, wishes of the Yajman be fulfilled. And Safala Santo, the truthful wishes, desires of the Yajman be fulfilled with 100% success. Swasti Mantra. Om Swasti na Indro Vridhashrava Swasti na Posha Vishvaveda Swasti na Staksharyo Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shinuyama Deva Bhadram Pashyemakshabhirayajatra Sthirairangeishtoshtamang Sastanurabhirvyashemai Devahitam Yadayu Om Swasti 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. By the grace of Ishwar God, the Yaj for today, Yaj wala bhag samapt hua, the part of the Yaj. Now we'll move for bhajan. Volunteers, please just raise your hand, unmute yourselves and start. Yes, Prem ji.
सबको नमस्ते। ये भजन हमारे प्रधान श्री अमर एरी जी का फेवरेट था। कोशिश करूंगी। हम सब मिलके आए दाता तेरे दरबार, भर दे झोली सबकी तेरे पूर्ण भंडार। हम सब मिलके आए दाता तेरे दरबार। होवे जब संध्या काल निर्मल होके तत्काल, अपना मस्तक झुका के करके तेरा ख्याल। तेरे दर पे आके बैठे सारा परिवार, हम सब मिलके आए दाता तेरे दरबार। लेके दिल में फरियाद करते हम तुमको याद, जब हो मुश्किल की घड़ियां मांगे तुमसे इमदाद। सबसे बढ़ के ऊंचा जग में तेरा दरबार, हम सब मिलके आए दाता तेरे दरबार। चाहे दिन हो विपरीत होवे तुझसे ही प्रीत, सच्ची श्रद्धा से गावे तेरी भक्ति के गीत। होवे सबका प्रभु जी तेरे चरणों से प्यार, हम सब मिलके आए दाता तेरे दरबार। तू है सब जग का वाली करता सबकी रखवाली, हम हैं रंग रंग के पौधे तुम हो हम सब के माली पथिक बगीचा है ये तेरा सुंदर संसार। हम सब मिलके आए दाता तेरे दरबार। भर दे झोली सबकी तेरे पूरन भंडार। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Prem ji. Next, please. Kamlesh ji, please.
आचार्य जी वो अलमेल जी भी चैट में डालेंगे
Yeah,
कि
yeah. I'll call her just after.
मुझे रास आ गया है तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना। मुझे रास आ गया है तेरे दर पे सर झुकाना। तुझे मिल गया पुजारी मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना। मुझे रास आ गया है। कुछ गम नहीं है मुझको चाहे बदल जमाना। चाहे बदल जमाना मेरी जिंदगी के मालिक कहीं तुम बदल न जाना। मुझे रास आ गया है। बुद्धि के दे खजाने भक्ति के दे तराने। भक्ति के दे खजाने तेरे दर कमी नहीं है। मुझे खाली ना लौटाना। तेरे दर कमी नहीं है। मुझे खाली ना लौटाना। तुझे मिल गया पुजारी मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना। मुझे रास आ गया है। तेरी दया हो सब पर ए जगत के खवैया। ए जगत के खवैया मझदार में है नैया। मुझे पार है लगाना। मझदार में है नैया मुझे पार है लगाना। तुझे मिल गया पुजारी मुझे मिल गया ठिकाना। मुझे रास आ गया। थैंक यू।
Thank you. Dhanyavad, Kamlesh ji. Now we'll request Almil ji for the next bhajan, please. You have to unmute yourself.
me now?
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Namaste everyone. एक बार भजन कर ले मुक्ति का यतन कर ले। एक बार भजन कर ले मुक्ति का यतन कर ले। छूट जाएंगे जन्म मरण प्रभु का स्मरण कर ले। एक बार भजन कर ले। ये मानस का चोला का मौका है ये जीवन का, गुलजार चमन कर ले, प्रभु का स्मरण कर ले, एक बार भजन कर ले। जो ऋषियों ने गाया है, मैं भी हूँ उस धुन में, उस धुन को सुन सुन कर प्रेमी ऐसा गा ले, प्रेमी ऐसा गा ले, प्रभु के आगे अब तुम, प्रभु के आगे अब तुम, नीचे गर्दन कर ले, प्रभु का स्मरण कर ले, एक बार भजन कर ले, मुक्ति का यतन कर ले, छूट जाएंगे जन्म मरण, प्रभु का स्मरण कर ले, एक बार भजन कर ले। Thank you.
Thank you, Almilji.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, if there's none, let me. Panditaji, yes. I saw your hand up.
सादर सुप्रीम नमस्ते। तेरे दर को छोड़ कर किस दर जाऊं मैं, सुनता मेरी कौन है, किसे सुनाऊं मैं। तेरे दर को छोड़ कर जब से याद भुलाए तेरे, लाखों कष्ट उठाए हैं। क्या जानूं इस जीवन अंदर कितने पाप कमाए हैं। हूँ शर्मिंदा आपसे, हूँ शर्मिंदा आपसे, क्या बतलाऊं मैं। सुनता मेरी कौन है, किसे सुनाऊं मैं। मेरे पाप ही तुझसे प्रीति न करने देते हैं। कभी जो चाहूं मिलूं आपसे, रोक मुझे ये लेते हैं। कैसे स्वामी आपके दर्शन पाऊं मैं। सुनता मेरी कौन है, किसे सुनाऊं मैं। जो बीती सो बीती, लेकिन बाकी उम्र संभालूं मैं। चरणों में जो बैठ आपके, गीत प्रेम का गालूं मैं। जीवन प्यारे देश का सफल बनाऊं मैं। सुनता मेरी कौन है, किसे सुनाऊं मैं। तेरे दर को छोड़ कर किस दर जाऊं मैं। सुनता मेरी कौन है, किसे सुनाऊं मैं, किसे सुनाऊं मैं, किसे सुनाऊं मैं। Thank you.
Thank you, Pandita ji. So we had a really good set of bhajan today. Let's move now to the subject of today. First, let's sit down straight, close the eyes gently with the body totally relaxed to bring back our mind to focus. Deep inhale and exhale and chanting Om 3 times. Gently, slowly open the eyes, keeping the focus. Welcome everybody to this Satsang of today, acknowledging the presence of Pandita Jasodhara ji, Pandit Vidyarthi ji, Alvel ji, and there was Prem Kapoor ji and Kamlesh ji from Toronto. Vandana ji and family from Sandy Springs, Hindu Center of Atlanta there. And Dr. Deen Bandhu Chandora, last but not least, because he's the mentor and founder of both the Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple and the Hindu Center of Atlanta. So acknowledging this great figure amongst us. In the same category of contribution that probably the Canadians will remember Mr. Airy for, and that's the status of Dr. Chandora. And Dr. Chandora is also a writer, eminent writer and speech, lecturer in Vedic philosophy. I've chosen fire as the subject of today, the symbolism of fire in the Vedic Hindu philosophy. If we look at the Vedas, the first mantra itself says, Om Agnimile Purohitam. So the first word there is Agni. That is the physical fire, all forms of energy, as well as the light of knowledge. Fire being one of the 5 subtle and gross elements at the time of creation. Fire is referred to Tej, Agni. Then if we take knowledge there, after the creation, then Ishwar God gave the knowledge of the Vedas. The knowledge is motivating. It's going to trigger us into righteous deeds, righteous thoughts, righteous words. So the 5 gross elements, Tej, Agni, Apsu, Jal, water, then Vayu, which is air, Prithvi, which is earth, the soil, then Akash, which is space. And the properties that run within these 5 elements, space allows sound to travel. And space is the accommodating place for all what comes after. It accommodates the four other elements also. But then if we say space was the first, among the first in the creation, what was there before that? There was what we call Shunya Akash, the vacuum. No molecules, no air, nothing in that. That was the Shunya Akash. And this is what is there during Pralay, during the dissolution, when nothing exists. We can't call it the universe because the universe didn't exist. The next one is Vayu, air. Air carries the property of touch feeling. Just when we have the wind blowing, we can feel the heat or the cold or the warmth or the tepid temperatures. Then we have Agni, which gives the form, the shape, and Agni as the light. Even as the fire burns, even if we don't see the fire, something is hot. If we watch carefully, we can see the energy moving out of it, like invisible waves. But we have to pay very focused attention to that. Then water carries ras, that is taste. And Prithvi carries gandh, that is smell. So all of them are related to the five senses. Agni is with the eyes, which recognizes the forms. Vayu with the skin, which allows us to feel the temperature. Water with the tongue for taste. And Prithvi for gandh, smell. So probably if somebody has been working with soil, you can feel the different smell of soil at the different places. So that's why, and Prithvi is the origin for whatever grows on this planet and thereafter decays, give the smell of various things in the universe. Now, focusing back on fire. Fire is being used for cooking, for heating, for producing electricity, so many aspects in our life. But let's look at the physical fire. For whatever is the combustible part, be it liquid fuel, kerosene, gas, or wood, the flames always go up. It rises. Teaches us that for whatever we do in our life, let's rise in life. So to be able to rise in life, we have to be truthful in our thoughts, manasa, in our words, vacha, in our deeds, karmana. This is the only way to rise in life. And this is for what will be remembered after we depart this world, is for what we shared as thoughts, for what we wrote or spoke about, and for what we did. This is the only thing for which, these are the only things for which we will be judged in life. Not by the amount of wealth we've accumulated, not by the amount of physical things around us. The legacy is more in terms of manasa, vacha, and karmana. So fire teaches us, let's rise in these aspects. If you look at the flame of the fire, then look at the flame of the fire in terms of the Upanishad. It says Kali, Karali, etc., describing the various colors out of it. Can we make our life colorful like this? Again, through our thoughts, through our words, and through our deeds. Fire also is known as a purifying agent. आप सोनार के पास चले जाओ, is using heat, which is, it may be direct flame or other forms of energy, in terms of heat energy, to be able to purify the gold, to melt the gold and make the ornaments. So in whatever process that we engage in life, energy is there. So with the purifying aspect of fire, can we learn from that to keep our thoughts, our words, and our deeds pure? Then fire in the Havan Kund teaches us other things also. One, look at the samidha, the wood sticks that we put into the fire. Before putting it into the fire, we can recognize the wood stick. But introduced into the fire, when it starts burning, it assumes the form of the fire. And in two sanskars, especially, besides the free samidhas that we offer during normal havan, in the Vedaram sanskar and in the graduation ceremony,
Get your copy.
Samavartan sanskar, free samidhas are offered separately, teaching us in life, for whatever good that we are doing, let's immerse into that goodness in life, like the samidha when it is introduced into the fire. It becomes fire-like. So in our life, let's be immersed in goodness and be good in whatever we do. This is what fire teaches us. Probably I'll take samidhas in another lecture as a separate item, which I've already did once at the Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple. I'll have to recall that from my backup hard disk. And that would be the subject of another lecture itself. This is why the importance of when we are putting Samidha Dan is as well as to get the fire blazing, but at the same time to learn from the fire that when we introduce the Samidha into the fire, it becomes fire-like. And when we introduce goodness in our life, we are given the sanskar, the good imprints, the good manners, the good teachings from our parents, from our mentors in life. Let's become immersed in that and remember the samidha. It doesn't return back to the wood stick. So it is transformed totally. So when that goodness filters our life, we'll get transformed, never, never to return back to where we were standing. Let's grow in goodness. Let's grow in benevolence. And that will bring enhanced level of happiness, sukh, peace, shanti, and prosperity, samriddhi in this whole universe. Fire in the Havan Kund, besides combustion to produce energy, that energy now takes and assumes other characteristics. It allows evaporation of the liquids in the ghee and the samagri. And second, sublimation. Directly from solid, particles of the samagri moves into gaseous forms, into vapors. And these vapors, when we're doing the mantra part during Havan, we take our breath deep, inhale and exhale, chanting the mantra as far as possible in one breath. We are doing our pranayam, those vapors go into our bloodstream through our lungs to boost our immunity, and this is aroma therapy. Then look at fire energy in the other forms. One is the physical light, as I said, the various colors of the flames of the Havan Kund emerging out of the fire. If we are able to focus our eyes on that, modern medicine recognizes chroma therapy, the therapy of light. And this is what the Upanishad describes when talking about Havan, the flame, the various colors of the flames of the Havan Kund. Then let's recognize energy as sound waves when we are doing the mantra chanting. The sound waves is also energy, another form of fire transformed. Because we eat, we consume food that produces energy in our body, and this is what enables us to chant the mantras. That is the way that energy is transformed into sound waves. And if we chant the mantras properly, focusing on our own chanting and our own pronunciation, we'll be able to silence our mind from external mental activities, and we'll be able to silence also our heart from external emotions. That is where we'll start generating inner peace within ourselves. And that inner peace is highly contagious. If we develop the attitude of holding inner peace, wherever we'll go, we'll be able to spread that peaceful atmosphere all around us, that peaceful aura. That was a bit covering the aspects of Agni. And this is where there's one mantra we chant, especially when people celebrate birthdays. It says, Om Shatam Jiva Sharado Vardhamana Shatan Hemantan Shatamu Vasantan Shatam Indragni Savita Brihaspati Shatayusha Vishemam Punardo. It says, make use of Agni. Now, if we make efficient and effective use of Agni, I've told you, by the way of Agni purifying, Agni as the medium to cook our food. But also, let's use Agni, the sunlight, the morning rays of the sunlight. This is a pure form of energy which enables our body to produce vitamin D, and in that form, which we don't get from any elements in food or any supplements that we take. Especially in the northern hemisphere in winter, it's quite dull. So for the small glimpses of sunlight that we have, let's give ourselves exposure to sunlight and revigorate, re-energize our body. And Agni as energy, this is what allows sunlight. Light is needed for crops to grow. So the various forms of Agni energy, in whatever ways they are, used effectively and efficiently with control, it helps to enhance our life. But if used dangerously, it burns to ashes. So let's make it there. Let's take it from there. That will pledge to respect Agni energy. And respect means compliance to all the advice for effective and efficient use of Agni to enhance our life, just as the mantra says, Shatam Indragni Savita Brihaspati. And one effective and efficient use of Agni is Havan, Agnihotra, which is prescribed to us daily. And this world of rush of today, when we can't do Agnihotra every day, let's at least light a small lamp of ghee with 1 spoonful of ghee there daily in our homes, because ghee signifies Satvikta, the highest form of purity of matter in the universe. Ghee is known as Satvik Pradhan. So that is one way of also using that Agni to spread the fragrance of purity within our homes. And I say, just get one spoonful of ghee and just place a small standing wick. It will light probably for 1 hour. And put it in the plate, put water there, so that it doesn't create any mishap. And just do that. Especially do it in the morning and the afternoon when we are sitting down for prayers, or at least once a day. And I don't say take 1 mouthful spoon, that eating spoon, no, take the teaspoon, the small spoon, that suffice. If you have a standing wick, it will light for about 1 hour. So that's another way, if we can say distorted way, to still continue to use fire effectively, to spread fragrance, to make the environment of our homes sattvic, if we can't do Agnihotra daily. I just hope I've been able to provide you some insights on Agni, and hope we'll be able to move ahead in life with those knowledge, apply them in our daily life, and grow for better levels of happiness, peace, and prosperity. Dr. Chandoraji, anything to add, please, or any message for all of us?
Namaste ji, I don't have anything extra. You already have explained the significance of Agni, that is both physical as well as abstract form in a spiritual way. If this is the way, if people are explaining, then everybody will understand very clearly. The problem which we are facing, we don't know Sanskrit. I have never read Sanskrit. So for me, any word says in Sanskrit is like speaking in a remote tongue. and only thing I can understand either through Hindi or English, and therefore each word has a different meanings. Unless we know the real meaning which is applicable at this time, at this place, at this statement, we lose all our inner thinking, upasana, prayer, stuti, praise, everything. So I am grateful that you explained this one, and hopefully you explained also the earlier mantras, and people can conceive those ideas while we sit and recite. Then they can improve their lives. So hopefully those who are listening will pay heed to their understanding and be practical in daily use in life. Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you, Dr. Ji. So we are moving now. It's now closing of this service of this week. Aarti Vajan by Vandana ji.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख बिन से मन का। स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी। स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, प्रभु बिन और न दूजा, आस करूँ मैं जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी। स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता। प्रभु तुम पालन करता। मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी, कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक अगोचर, सबके प्राणपति। स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विधि मिलूं दया मैं, किस विधि मिलूं दया मैं, तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे। स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। अपने हाथ बढ़ाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ, द्वार पड़ा मैं तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा। स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करें। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
Moving now to closing, Shanti Path, we'll chant free shlok together, and Shanti Path all in the yogic meditative form, focusing on our own chanting. If we know the meaning in the broad lines, that's fine. Otherwise, let's listen to our own pronunciation, to the sound waves and to the vibrations coming back to us, feeling the inner peace that such positivity of prayers leads us to. Closing the eyes gently with the body totally relaxed. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santo niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ द्यौ शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति आपः शान्ति ओषधयः शान्ति वनस्पतयः शान्ति विश्वे देवाः शान्ति ब्रह्म शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शांति। जय घोष। जो बोले सो अभय, वैदिक धर्म की जय। जगत गुरु महर्षि दयानंद महाराज की जय। गुरुवर स्वामी विरजानंद जी की जय। योगीराज श्री कृष्ण जी की जय। मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री रामचंद्र जी की जय। वेद की ज्योति जलती रहे जलती रहे, वेद की ज्योति जलती रहे जलती रहे। आर्य समाज अमर रहे, आर्य समाज अमर रहे। वैदिक ध्वनि। ओ भोजन मंत्र। ओम अन्नपते अन्नस्य नो देह्यनमीवस्य सुष्मिनः प्रदातारं तारिष ऊर्जन्नो देहि द्विपदे चतुष्पदे। हे अन्न के स्वामीन प्रभु, आप हमें अन्न दो जो रोग रहित और पुष्टि कारक हो। आप अन्नदाता का कल्याण करो, दो पाए और चौपाए प्राणियों का आदि में तेज धारण करो। O Annadata, Ishwar giver of food, kindly provide us with health and energy producing food. Grant serenity to all those who give food in charity. May all living beings be blessed with energy giving food. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सभी को सादर नमस्ते.
Namaste.
So take care, stay safe, and wish you a nice weekend ahead. We'll keep the panel open for a few minutes if anybody wants to share any ideas or wishes.
Acharya ji,
Yes.
what about when people celebrate birthday and they light a candle and they blow the candle out?
Yeah, I would say one is blowing a candle for the birthday is moving from light to darkness. When we pray for Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, and we are doing the reverse.
Yeah.
So from our karma, when we get darkness in our other aspects in our life, it's just because of our karma.
Yeah.
Then take the case of COVID. COVID tells us to wear masks because of the droplets that go out of our mouth when we
Yeah.
are talking, when we are sneezing, we are coughing, or we are blowing air out of our mouth. So what happens to that cake on which there's a candle and we are blowing the candle on that cake?
Right. Yeah.
So the best of things would be to light a lamp of ghee.
Yes.
As I said, a lamp of ghee because it's sattvic pradhan. It's the form purifying agent, and it's also fragrant.
Right.
So we light a lamp of ghee by the side and it will light till the ghee is there. And it will extinguish by itself when the ghee is finished. So we don't practice that. Instead of doing Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, we're doing the reverse.
Thank you. Thank you, Acharya ji. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, okay, best wishes to all of you. Have a nice week ahead. Take care and stay safe.